Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone is enjoying the Jumpstart Your Fitness Challenge thus far, and that you've all made it to day 3. So be excited about that. I'm proud of you just for even taking the step to even be here, to have joined this group, and to even try is a huge step, okay? So be proud of yourself. And actually, speaking of that, I did want to, just before we get into today's content, which is about metabolism, I wanted to touch on what someone posted yesterday, because it was such a wise thing that she said, and I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention, okay? So basically, what one of our friends in the group was saying was that she's feeling overwhelmed trying to bring on 2 things at the same time this week, meaning that she feels overwhelmed trying to stick with the diet all week long and add on a workout every day, that it's just too much and it's making her feel overwhelmed. And I completely understand that feeling. Believe me, I do. And that is normal. And you would certainly not see any judgment, here for feeling that way. That is absolutely normal. And so what she said she was going to do is only just concentrate on sticking to the meal plan and doing that, right this week. And then next week, try to do the meal plan as well. And I think that is so smart of her and such a great idea, because, if you try to do and change too many things at one time, then you will get overwhelmed. And what happens if you get overwhelmed? You will quit. You will not stick with it. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, you cannot sustain that long term. And so, I would like to just suggest to anyone else who's feeling that way, to follow what she's saying, because it is so smart and so wise and such a good tip to, take it one step at a time, change one thing at a time, get comfortable with that. It may take 2 weeks, it may take 3 weeks, and then change something else or add on something else, okay? That's really great advice, and I'm really glad that she shared that with the group. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about metabolism today. Metabolism is such a critical part of weight loss, and understanding metabolism is huge. You need to understand. So let's just dive right in and talk about a couple of myths. The first myth is skinny people have to have a faster metabolism, right? I mean, that's why they're so skinny, right? Because they have such a fast metabolism? Well, actually, no. Skinnier people or smaller individuals actually have a slower metabolism because there's less of them. There's less weight. There's less of them to burn at rest, okay? And larger individuals actually have a higher metabolism just because there's more weight. There's more of them to burn. Now, here's the key piece. If there is more weight of you or more of you, then the thing that could be an advantage about that is what is that added weight? Is it muscle weight or is it fat weight? Because if it's fat pounds, then no, that's not going to really do anything for your metabolism. But if it's muscle weight that has been added to you, or that is on you, or you have a lot of muscle, then that is a really good thing, because that muscle, my friends, does burn fat faster. And the more muscle you have, the more calories and the more fat that you will be able to burn faster and more effectively. So that's a really good thing. All right, the second common myth is skipping a meal is going to cause my metabolism to just crash. That's not actually true. Now, if you regularly skip meals and you do it all the time and you are constantly in a state of not feeding yourself enough, then yes, you will cause your metabolism to crash and burn and plummet and basically be non-existent for you. But if you most of the time, the majority of the time, you do feed yourself and you don't skip meals, but just, this one time, for whatever reason, you skipped a meal, then no, it's not going to cause your metabolism to plummet. So, don't stress yourself out in that way, thinking, I've got to eat 5 times a day or 6 times a day or my metabolism is going to go, crashing. That's not true. It really honestly is about the quality and the quantity of the calories that you eat in a given day versus the timing of those calories that you eat in the day. What I mean by that is, so let's say you have 1,000 calories dinner all at one sitting, okay? And versus spreading that 1,000 calories over the entire day. Well, that 1,000 calories is really going to have the same effect on you whether you ate it at one sitting or whether you spread it out. So here's the thing, it's the quality and the quantity of those calories. Was it a nutritious meal with whole grains and vegetables and lean protein, or was it a Big Mac, okay? Because if it was the latter, then yes, that's going to have a much different effect on your body's ability to burn it, build it into muscle, store it as fat, etc., okay? Because yesterday we spent a lot of time talking about what pieces your body will burn as fuel versus building muscle with it versus storing it as fat. So if you eat 1,000 calories in one sitting in the form of a Big Mac, yeah, your body's going to take it directly to its fat stores. That's what your body's going to do. Okay, the third myth. I need to eat less and exercise more to lose weight. No, that is dead wrong. That is the worst kind of thinking that you could possibly have. And I'm going to explain why. Okay, first, you have to eat food to lose weight. Period. You do. You have to fuel your body in the proper way and eat good, nutritious food to lose weight. So let me explain that. If you are constantly in a state of depriving yourself and not eating enough food, then your body is going to go into self-preservation mode. Your body is going to say to itself, she's not feeding me enough, so I have to keep myself at steady state. I have to preserve myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go look at my fat stores and I'm going to take inventory and I'm going to hang on to every single fat cell that I have because I don't know when the next time she's going to feed me is. That's what your body does. Your body hangs on to every single fat cell that it has if you do not fuel your body properly. Then, let's say that on top of that deprived and unfed, unnourished state, you put exercise into the mix and you do a 30-minute workout or a 15-minute workout. Then what is your body going to use to fuel that exercise? You would love it if your body would say, oh, she's exercising. Let me give her some of this, energy from my fat store so that she can use that to fuel the exercise. No, your body doesn't do that. Your body goes to your muscle, breaks down your existing muscle to fuel the exercise that you're doing. That is the first place it goes if it's not been fed properly to fuel your exercise. And that is the worst possible thing that can happen because we already talked about how the more muscle that you have, the higher your metabolism is and the more calories and fat that you can burn. So the last thing that you want to do is get yourself in a state where your body is breaking down your muscle because you want to keep the muscle that you have and burn more. Build more muscle, right? That's the end all goal. So when you put yourself in a situation where you're not feeding yourself properly and then you're exercising and breaking down your muscle because your body's not fed, you are just perpetuating a vicious cycle of never being able to get the results that you want to get. So I really wanted to explain that in depth, and I hope that I have. The next common myth that a lot of people think or feel is there is nothing that I can do to change my metabolism. It's out of my control. It's all genetics. There's nothing I can do about it. Well, that's not true either. Yes, there is a bit of genetics that does come into play, with metabolism, but there are definitely things that you can do to increase and boost your metabolism. The first one we've already talked about is having more muscle, building muscle. More muscle is actually the most effective and the fastest way to increase your metabolism. So the more muscle that you can build, the better. And that is why it is so critical to include resistance training and use a little bit of weights as part of your workout regimen. No, it does not mean that you have to go into the gym and lift hard, heavy, dumbbells and lift like a man. That's not what I'm talking about. It can be something as simple as a set of 3-pound dumbbells or 5-pound dumbbells that you just add to like a cardio move or to, to lunges, just simple toning moves that you do with 3 pounds or 5 pounds makes that difference to get that metabolism jolted, okay? It really does, because your body starts to build muscle from that and change from that and adapt from just doing straight cardio. Okay, another big tip that you can do to increase your metabolism. This is actually the second most effective thing. The first, fastest way is building muscle. The second is sleep. Getting a good night's rest. Believe it or not, and studies have shown that is hugely, hugely linked to your metabolism. And actually, when you don't get enough rest the next day, it does mess up it causes a hormonal imbalance. There's a hormone that is released that actually causes you to crave carbohydrates because you're not well rested. And that's the last thing we want either. And I know as busy moms, sometimes that's really hard to accomplish a good night's rest. Believe you me, I struggle with that, but that is something that we can try to do anyway to the best of our abilities, is get a good night's sleep. The third thing that you can do is drinking cold water. Cold water is actually best. I mean, we all know that, we should be drinking water all throughout the day and hydrate ourselves, and it helps us to feel fuller, and, all of that helps to cleanse and detox and get rid of, all that, and it's great for weight loss, blah, blah, blah. That's all true. But it really also does help to boost your metabolism, because if you're drinking cold water steadily and constantly throughout the day, your body has to work just a little bit harder to try to bring that water that you're consuming to body temperature. And actually, studies have shown that you will increase your body's calorie burn by 50 calories a day just by drinking 6 cups of water. That equates to about 5 pounds in a year. So that's something simple that you can do. So, muscle exercise, get a good night's sleep, and drink water throughout the day. Another one is caffeine. No, I'm not saying to go drink a whole bunch of Coke and Pepsi, but coffee, we talked about the best way to sweeten your coffee Monday, I believe it was, stevia, almond milk, coconut milk, things like that, instead of heavy creamers. And of course you can drink it black if you're built that way. But yeah, coffee, tea, green tea, those are great sources of caffeine, and caffeine does boost your metabolism. It really does. So, a nice serving of that in the morning and maybe another in the late afternoon, there's nothing wrong with that. Another thing is protein. I know you probably feel like I've been talking about protein till you're sick of hearing about protein, but protein is key to building muscle. You should really have a small portion of protein with every meal that you have and every snack. If you're having 3 meals a day and 1 snack, they should all have protein in them. That is a critical piece to boosting your metabolism as well. Another just kind of small thing that you can do, this is called NEAT. I'm going to read it to make sure I get it right. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis, okay? What that's just talking about is if you're like me and you have a desk job, getting up and stretching your legs. When you go to the grocery store, park at the back of the parking lot and walk. Use the steps instead of the elevator. And get up and stretch periodically and, take a lap. Those kinds of activities spread out all throughout the day where you just make yourself do slightly extra helps to raise your metabolism. It really, really does. Another thing is fiber. Eating foods with fiber will boost your metabolism. Studies have shown by 30% just from incorporating fiber. And you know what? That fiber is going to come from all the vegetables and fruits that we're putting into our diet that we talked about on Monday, okay? So another good thing about fiber is it helps boost your metabolism. Another is iron-rich foods. Your muscles need you to eat plenty of iron because the iron is going to carry the oxygen to those muscles that are trying to build and grow, and we already talked about muscle. The next two are vitamin D and calcium. People with calcium deficiencies have been shown to have lower metabolisms, and the same for vitamin D. Vitamin D helps to preserve that metabolism revving muscle tissue in your body. So those two nutrients or minerals are really important as it relates to metabolism. And then the last thing, this is the kicker, and this is probably the third most effective way for jump-starting and increasing your metabolism, is the first being muscle, the second being sleep, and here's the last one, and the third most important is breakfast, okay? Breakfast. Anyone who skips breakfast is really doing themselves a disservice and definitely not doing anything for their metabolism. After you've had a good 6 to 8 hour fast during the night, or 10-hour fast from sleeping and, not having had anything since dinner the night before, the most effective way to jumpstart your metabolism is to eat breakfast. More so than exercise, eating breakfast will jumpstart your metabolism the next day after an overnight fast, more so than exercise. Believe it. I was surprised. I have always thought that exercise first thing in the morning was the best thing you could do to jumpstart your metabolism, but that is not true. It is actually breakfast, and it sets the tone for the rest of the day. So, obviously you want that breakfast to be a healthy breakfast, so that it does, set the tone for the rest of the day. It gets your metabolism revving and spinning and ready to go all day long, so you can burn calories and fat while you're, driving to carpool and sitting at your desk and those kinds of activities. Another thing about breakfast. So I want to share with you what I have for breakfast every day that I have made a part of my life, because I feel like it's just so important and has been such a huge part of my journey and my success, and that is Shakeology. I drink it every day. I have lost the amount of weight that I want to lose. However, I am still trying to define my abs and maybe drop like this last very stubborn 5 pounds. That's kind of where I am right now. But even though I have pretty much reached my weight loss goals, I still drink Shakeology every single day. And the reason for that is because I believe in it so much. It has been such a huge positive part of my own success and my own journey. And the reason for that is I know for a fact it was huge in helping my metabolism to get jump started, especially in my 40s, and also to help sort of just detox me from all the crap that, I've eaten for so many years, up to the point where I finally was really got on a program where I could eat healthy the majority of the time. I'm not saying I eat perfect every day now, because that's not true, but I definitely do much better. But it has superfood ingredients, and I don't know if you know a whole lot about superfoods, but there's over 70 superfoods in Shakeology, and those superfoods, it's like having the best multivitamin that you could possibly have times 1,000 that you're putting into your body each day. You don't need to take a multivitamin if you're drinking Shakeology, period, because you're certainly getting all your vitamins and minerals covered, plus you're getting all these superfoods. And I don't know about you, but when I was pregnant with my twins, I did a whole lot of reading about, wanting to make sure I ate the right things, because I wanted to, obviously, give them the best start they could have in life, and so I was doing all this reading about how you need to eat, servings of this and this and this to make sure you're getting all the colors of the rainbow with your vegetables and your antioxidants, and a serving of pumpkin and, this color vegetable and that color vegetable, and folic acid from salmon. I mean, just all this stuff. And it was exhausting trying to keep up with that every day and make sure I had a serving of everything that I needed and green leafy and blah, blah, blah. It was so hard. I wish I had known about Shakeology then, but I didn't. But I still try, I never forgot all that stuff that I read back then. And so I still, always sort of have that and have had that in the back of my mind, trying to, eat right and color the whole spectrum. But now I don't have to worry about that. So if you are someone who does really try to make sure they've got all their bases covered in their nutrition, you don't have to even give it a second thought. And that's one of the things that I like about it so much, is it gives me peace of mind as I try to eat healthy. But here's the biggest benefits that I've experienced from it. Improved digestion, not to be TMI, but I've always been one of those people that, really is not very regular at all. I mean, to the point of like every 3 or 4 days, something like that. I mean, I've always been that way. And, but the doctors, or anyone that you talk to say, well, if that's your regular, then that's fine. But that's not my regular anymore. I mean, that's not. My digestion has improved so much. I didn't even realize that, I didn't have very good digestion. But now it's just so much more pleasant. And then the other thing is cravings. If you are someone that craves sugar and has really bad cravings, Shakeology decreases the cravings. It's all about the fact that you are actually nourishing your body with what it truly, truly needs. Then you don't crave stuff. You just don't. It works in that way. And it did for me. I saw a significant benefit in increased energy and decreased cravings within the first week. Those are the biggest 2 things that you will feel and see like almost immediately, is the boost in energy, and that's from all those superfoods, and the decreased cravings. And then the digestion part really comes into play within a few weeks. And the other thing that it did do for me, now I don't struggle with diabetes or blood sugar problems, and I did not have high cholesterol, but even though my cholesterol was not high to begin with, from one checkup to the next, within a 9-month period, my LDL cholesterol dropped 15 points. So now it's like really, really low. And the doctor was like, wow, what have you done to decrease your LDL? And I'm like, I think it's just, my diet now and the Shakeology. It actually has ingredients in it that have been proven to lower cholesterol levels as well as blood sugar levels. I've actually had a lot of my clients who do have diabetes that have really done good things with their blood sugar. They've dropped their hemoglobin A1C levels as well as their cholesterol. My dad actually was able to come off of his cholesterol medicine after being on Shakeology for about 7 months. Was glad that he actually listened to me and tried it. But anyway, it's all those superfoods. I'm telling you, if people would pay attention to their diet more so than just running to the doctor and getting a pill. I know, and I'm a pharmacist. I know, you don't need a pill for everything. I think so many things, so many diseases out there are linked to vitamin and mineral deficiencies. And if we would just feed our body appropriately, we could combat a lot of the stuff that's out there. I mean, especially a lot of the mood disorders and things like that are really linked to vitamin and mineral deficiencies, and also inflammation. So many chronic disease states are due to the bottom factor being metabolism, and the marker for that is the CRP. And physicians actually now measure that. That's becoming more of a norm to get that marker, that inflammation marker, measured as part of your routine lab work, because it's starting to become common knowledge that inflammation is sort of the underlying factor that causes so many chronic diseases. So if superfoods reduce inflammation, okay? So period, point blank, it's healthy stuff that will change your life. And it's a very easy and fast way to eat breakfast. There's just no excuse to not eat breakfast when you can whip up the most healthiest shake in the world that you could possibly drink in less than 5 minutes. So I will stop wagging my hand or my finger at you on that. But if you have any questions about metabolism, please, please, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. And I do, again, hope that you've been enjoying the videos thus far and the meal plan and the workouts. Today's workout, I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, it's the abs alternating with the... It was, no, I can't remember now what workout it was today. It was total body. 5-minute total body workout and 5-minute abs. And what I was hoping you would do is do each one twice. So do the total body, then do the abs, then do the total body, then do the abs. And that will be a really good 20-minute workout. So anyway, I hope everyone is enjoying thus far. Please continue to use me as a resource. Do the challenge. I would love to see more people engage and do the challenge so that I can give you a prize at the end of the week, okay? All right, everybody have a good week. Happy Hump Day. Bye.